something about the size of a sliced which, I'm close to the camera, is nice and thin in the middle, but it's got the crust on the outside is still raised, because what we want is that Neapolitan style puffy crust. So, next step, take your frying pan and just put it on a medium to high heat. Like so. Because basically what we're doing here is we're trying to replicate the heat of our 500-degree wood-fired ovens. So this is going to replicate the oven floor, because you've got that heat just driving all the way through it. And then we're going to put it under the grill, and that's going to replicate the flames licking over the top of the dome oven. So as that comes up to temperature, we're going to stretch the rest of this dough ball. So you're going to take your dough ball and you're going to put it on the backs of your hands like this.
No, it wasn't.
So
I think
most of the weight is hanging off the front, and it's just on the back of your knuckles like that. You have to take off anyone wearing lots of bling.
Which one was yours, Martin?
And then all we're going to do is we're just going to stretch it round the outside, not stretching from the middle, just round the outside, just passing it between your hands like this. And you can see, because the dough is so soft, it almost stretches under its own weight. So we're just going to get keep passing it out, just stretching around the outside, and you should end up with a nice round.
Yeah, they're still cooking. They've got another 2 courses to go, but I think we've all finished now. Unless Mark and Julie are still cooking, they might
look very easy. So some people can do that. So if you need to, feel free to bail out at this point and use a wine bottle or rolling pin or anything just to roll it out.
They're all quite sizable.
Even in the Belazu kitchen seems to do very well. Very nice. And then just put it down on the
because they're all vegetarian and kind of quite healthy.
And then
there's an enormous volume of quite healthy food. You know, but it's all a bit
nice and hot. We're not going to put any oil in, so it's completely dry. And we're just going to lay the pizza down in the frying pan. Just make sure my camera angle is correct. Have you finished
cooking?
So you just lay the pizza base in the frying pan like that, and you've just got a few seconds before it sets, just to push it into the corners, and it should look kind of like a pancake situation, just filling the bottom of your frying pan. So then, what we do next, in fact, maybe I'll just, again, a couple seconds. Were there any pizza-based questions that might be able to answer for a second if people need to catch up?
Yes, Emily would like to know, how long will the dough last if people don't cook it tonight?
Yeah, so this dough, you can either put this dough in this pot, it's freezer safe, so you can put that in your freezer and you can keep it fairly indefinitely. The legal requirement is maybe 3 months. And then what's great about that is you can literally just pull that out an hour before you want to eat it, and it will just defrost in an hour, and then you can carry on with this recipe. Same with the tomato, you can freeze that as well. In fact, everything you can freeze, to be honest. If not, if you just want to keep it in the fridge for the weekend, then 3 days is what we're allowed. And also, if you wanted to, that could also bake a really lovely little mini loaf as well. So you can do this as a focaccia. It's a very versatile dough recipe. So you could put it in a tray and cover it in olive oil with some garlic and rosemary and bake it like a focaccia, or you can just bake a little bun like that.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm going to put my pan back on the heat.
Yeah.
So for everyone who's caught up, so the frying pan's on the heat, the dough ball's in. Next step is to take our tomato sauce. So these are San Marzano tomatoes. The one thing we get asked in the restaurant is our tomato recipe, and it's actually the simplest thing. We just get boom. So these are literally just canned San Marzano tomatoes that we hand mill as opposed to whizzing them in a blitzer. So you can actually just crush them with your hands. If you whiz them in a blitzer, all the seeds will bring out some bitterness, and also the sauce will just go a bit too smooth. You want a little bit of texture in the sauce. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put half of the tomato sauce in the middle of the pizza, and then I'll come up to the camera. What we're going to do is just like this, just bigger and bigger circles with the back of the spoon, and you want to cover the pizza until you've got about 2 centimeters, about 1.5 inches crust. Back on the heat. Then next after that is top left in your box, you've got a little pinch of Parmesan. So this is just grated Parmesan. And we don't use much, but this is kind of the little savoury note in the pizza. Because the tomatoes are the kind of sweet acidic bit, then we've got this as the savoury bit. And then you've got a glorious, massive bunch of basil. So just pick some really nice leaves. I like lots of basil on my pizza. But, like that. And then the last thing is this is the fior di latte mozzarella, which comes in from Naples, and it's a cow's milk mozzarella, and it's just a really good melting cheese. So I'm going to use half of that and just put that on as well. One of the things about Neapolitan pizza is it's a kind of a less is more mentality. It's kind of not like the American style of pizza, which is a kind of duvet of cheese. This is the idea with a good Neapolitan pizza is that there should be a, this bite's quite tomatoey, and then you get a bite of the mozzarella, a big bite of basil, so every bite's a little bit different. So what you can do now is, with the spoon that you did the tomato with, just have a little check on the bun. And what you're looking for is some really good browning, some really good dark spots, but obviously not burnt. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a few flecks of this, which is the aubergine and parmesan pesto. So we're literally just going to take a spoon and just flick some little dollops of the aubergine pesto on here. I mean, the thing about this pizza is a margherita is kind of your canvas. Feel free to go for your life. Maybe you could put a little bit of the, if you've got any leftovers from the other courses, feel free to be inventive. Maybe some of the cauliflower might be really good. But I'm just going for a little bit of the aubergine. I'm going to go for one little bit more. And then just finally a little drizzle of the extra virgin olive oil, which is your last little pot. And that just kind of dresses the pizza. So, if everything's gone right, you should see that your crust is rising at the sides. You can see these bubbles starting to form, which is great. And you've got a nice colour on the bottom. Then all you're going to do is take your pizza and put it under your hot grill. And a couple things to check are, if you have a plastic handle to your frying pan, please don't put that under the grill. You can tin foil it, or you can just transfer the pizza to like a baking sheet if you like. And the other thing is, if you've got a snazzy oven, which I don't have, sometimes the grill setting only works when the door is shut, so just check that. And if you do need to shut the door, then just transfer the pizza to a baking sheet. So this is going to take probably about 60 seconds to 90 seconds to cook.
Okay, you're going to have to talk quickly then, because I've got some questions for you.
Yes, hit me.
Where do you stand on Hawaiian pizza? Andrew wants to know, please settle the argument.
Okay, we actually settled this argument. We did a collaboration with Neil Rankin, who's a great chef, a couple of years ago, and we did a thing called Hawaii Knot, which was we basically came up with this pizza, which was we peeled the pineapples, and then we marinated them in like a honey liqueur kind of thing, and then we roasted them in the wood-fired ovens until they blackened, and then we sliced them into sort of carpaccio of pineapple, and then we put that on a margherita pizza with nduja and pickled jalapenos, and we did it in all the pizzerias for a month, and everyone was given a voting slip. It was at the exact same time that the Brexit referendum was happening, so we thought we'd take on the really major questions, and it won after I think 3,500 votes. It won 52 to 58%, which was literally exactly the same as what the referendum was. But
Brexit.
it was, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's allowed. God rules, it's allowed.
Next question. Francis says that they cook their pizza on a big green egg. Very fancy bit of kit. Sometimes it's doughy in the middle. Any tips why that might happen?
Big egg, doughy in the middle. I mean, you want to make sure when you're stretching your dough, like we've just done, you want to have a little bit more dough at the sides because you want to have that raised crust. But in the middle, you want to get as thin as you can really get away with. Yeah, use a frying pan. Leave your big green egg outside and just use a frying pan. This genuinely, I think, is the best way of making pizza at home.
Right. Somebody wants to know, your dough looks amazing. Emma wants to know, can you buy the dough? Or could you revenue stream?
Hang on a minute. Can you buy the dough? Well, you can, because this kit Oh god, this sounds like such a plug now. This kit is available to buy from pizzainthepost.co.uk. This kit was something that we came up with when the thing that happened this year happened, and we started sending these kits out in March, and it's just been complete madness ever since. We're sending them all across the country. They're going to Glasgow, Cornwall,